Hello, and I'm playing a little bit of Blitz today, so wish me good luck. Bloody hell, I'm playing someone strong, and I'm going to be trying out my new, well, I say my new opening, but my latest course that I've done for Chessable, and we're going to give it a damn good whirl in this first game as we're playing someone who's 2900 on lead chess, which is far stronger than me. And I'm going to try to play as many games as I can in this opening, which I'm showing you now, which is we're calling the British Grand Prix, as it's been played by a number of British players. I don't know if that title's necessarily correct, as if you look at people who've been playing the opening, it's been played, I would say, maybe even more often by a Belarusian chess player by the name of Kovalov, who's like nearly 2700. Who else has played this? Well, other strong players to have played this opening are some of the Chinese players. I saw that someone used this to beat Fabiano Caruana this opening in a rapid play. But it's a very interesting setup, and what you're seeing here, the position that I've set up here, is one of the main ideas from the opening. And I think it's fair to say that already, no matter what the result is of this game, good way to hedge my bets, I've got an advantage here. And of course, that's what I'm trying to show when I'm teaching an opening. But one of the main pawn structures you're going for, and I'm going to talk more, of course, in this video about what you're trying to achieve in the middle game, what the pros and cons of the course are. Before I go on, please do like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me greatly. And another thing is, if you want to buy the course, which also supports me, the link is in the description. But let's get back to the chess. So I've got, I think, what is fair to say, a very nice position here. Now I could take the knight off, but I'm gonna, I think, keep my bishop. I like my bishop and improve my pieces. So I'm going for the h7 pawn. My opponent is coming over to defend. And now, do I go here or maybe here? And I'm starting to think about some aggressive ideas like this, which I kind of want to play now, but lots of pieces get exchanged off. Is this a good move? Or do I just keep things under control? My opponent's bishops are completely dead here, so I have a very sizable advantage in this position. All of my pieces working greatly. I mean, this is a great advertisement for the opening. I didn't plan this. He's not a stooge. Oh, he gets his free. He gets his 50 quid after this game. But it really, I mean, again, you know, I'm not saying this opening better than other openings, but it's a really quite a crafty way to play against the Sicilian. Okay, I could start some tactics now, but I'm going to probably run out of time, as I always bloody do. Let's just go. Let's go in now. Let's go in now. So this is my plan, and knight g5 is the move that I'm really trying to play here. Now queen takes, check. Okay, this is a brilliant move, I think. I say that and I'm probably going to lose. If queen takes, I have check and all of my pieces are working fantastically. If rook takes, I take here. If he takes on this square, well, I can calmly take back. Queen takes, bishop check, and it's mate. And I don't know how he defends now. What I'm also going to do at the end of my blitz session, I might play for half an hour or so, I'm going to look at all the games I've played in this blitz section with GChess, this piece of software that I've created along with some others. And I think now this tactical move is the way to play. Boom! 27 moves with the British Grand Prix. Bring it on, my 2890 opponents. Buy a DVD, mate. And, well, I'll tell you what, I mean, that opening went pretty damn well. Just to tell you what the opening is, I'm going to look at it in more detail at the end of this stream, but I don't want to bore you by going into too much now. But the opening is against the Sicilian, and it's this little move here. Now, what you're trying to aim for is basically a good reverse Dutch 2 or 3 tempo up. And stage 1 of your setup is d3, f4, knight f3, castles. It's an opening you don't have to memorize too much. You can play certain plans, a bit like the London system. It's very unknown, this opening. It's a secret opening. You can only play it against a Sicilian, but I think it is a really nice way to play to avoid theory, to get a nice, interesting position. So I go for my stage 1 setup here, and now black has to decide what to play. You never fear the queen exchanges, because I've got these 2 pawns. Bishop d6 is the main setup recommended by Anish Giri, actually. And you've got 2 main plans after you've done stage 1. We've done our stage 1 setup. Plan number 1 is to swing the queen over and go for checkmate, like in a Dutch opening. Plan number 2 is to get this big center, as I did in the game. And when you get this big center, you're relying that this gives you a lovely hold on the position and chances to slowly build up your attack, which I think I proved is very possible. That was a bloody good start, wasn't it? I wish every game was like that. Let's see if we can get some more games in. And obviously, when I got the black pieces, I won't be able to try out this new opening. But we're better play some interesting blitz games anyway. And I'm going to wheel out the French defence here. Will I get to 2700 as well? I feel like it's on the cards. This little line I'm playing is very interesting. You go b5 and you later go f5, and it was an idea that Morozevich, one of the most brilliant players around, who unfortunately doesn't play as much anymore, used to play. I'm always a little bit scared because I don't like being cramped, and they can often attack you in a number of ways. If I go here, he might bring this knight in here, but I'm going for a hold on the light squares. I'm probably going to try to castle queenside, maybe bring my queen to this nice square. And it's a very dynamic position. I have the 2 bishops, which gives me some chances later on. I do apologise slightly for the camera quality. I'm sending off my camera, which is going to cost a bloody arm and leg to get fixed. But hey ho, my car's also stopped working, so I can't even take it and get fixed. It's one of those years. No, let's hope it gets better. But like I say, the course I'm very proud that I've just brought out. I created this with renowned theoretician, my good friend Richard Patterson, who does a lot of great work on openings. I don't know if I should have done that. That might help him, actually. He does a lot of the finding the novelties, a lot of the hard work behind the scenes. I must admit, my job is to try to bring those ideas to life in video. And the opening, the British Grand Prix, is something that I've got quite a close affinity to. I first started looking at it in 2009, along with should we take that one along? Let's play here along with some other players. When I played for England in Novi Sad, Serbia in 2009, Luke Machane in that tournament played the opening and won. I've played it on and off all my life. It's a great surprise weapon. You can play it full time as well, and it's the first time that I've really done any serious work on the opening setup, along with Richard Palliser. And Richard's found some lovely ideas, and now that I've done a lot of work on the opening, I'm thinking, bloody hell, this is a great way to play against a Sicilian. I do occasionally like playing the open Sicilian, but it requires a hell of a lot of theoretical work when you have to memorize many lines. And I'm getting older, my memory's crap. I drink too much beer, and and I've ruined my brain from, let's not go into details, a life of fun when I was younger, let's just put it that way, not anymore. And I want simple systems that I can play where there's simple plans, and that's why I thought this opening might be good for you guys if you want a simple plan against the Sicilian. Obviously it's really for e4 players, it's not going to help you solve other openings, but it's just a nice plan to play against the Sicilian, where it will be very unlikely that your opponent will have seen it before, because it's still very rare. Now I realise a course like this, I'm not doing it, well obviously I do rely on the money. I'll be lying to say the money's not important, because the money, that's a bloody annoying move, does help me. But I could do a much more popular course if it's just for the money. These courses don't tend to sell as much because they're not well known, but I'm doing it because I fully believe that it's a great opening, and it's an opening, the less known openings are more effective. And I want you guys to have the best results that you can. It's not just about always pulling the money in. And I want to show you rare openings which are interesting. It's got to be better than this pile of crap I'm playing here. That's for sure. I mean, what's he done? He's come in like Flynn, and he's getting ready to do this kind of stuff. I don't want to move my rook away from the 7th rank, but I can't allow this in. Which rook do I move here? I'm going to keep a bit centralized. So that's the idea of the course, and Richard knows a bit about the course as well, and very kindly helped develop it with some, like I say, brilliant ideas. And it's my latest Chessable course, and like I mentioned, if you enjoy my stuff and you want to learn something, it's a great way to support me. Okay, well, I'm doing it on the clock here, doing it real good. It feels like my king, yeah, that's a good move, is a little bit scared, but a win on time could suffice. Got to watch out for that check. I'm relying on this cheapo. And what is happening here, boys and girls? Am I getting mated? The answer is, I will tell you in a short period of time. He's got 3 seconds to mate me, and it looks like he is the chap getting mated. Oh yeah, 2700. Yeah, I ain't learned my rap skills yet, boys and girls. And we've got it in again. So let's just try and learn this. Stage 1, we go for this reversed Dutch setup, a tempo up, f4. Now he's played g6. This is a different setup to what I got in the first game. Stage 1 done. Now in the last time I played this, we went for this setup, and against the move e6 and knight e7, I recommend we do the same thing. If the knight goes to f6, I recommend we go for checkmate. But in this way, we're going for that same really big central majority. And we do this by preparing the move d4. If his knight had gone to f6, we would have swapped plans. But in this position, we're getting d4 in. And already, I like my position. I have these nice pawns here. This is still following the course. This knight, this is actually a slight error now, because we can take here, surprisingly enough, and start targeting the d6 square with our knight coming in. Already, this is an idea that Richard Palliser found. Is a very nice position for white. We can now play a very important idea in this opening, switching the queen over to the king side to put pressure against the h7 pawn, and with the rook coming here and the knight popping in, we might get control of both sides of the board. God, I look pale with this camera, don't I? I am not a vampire. Not as far as I am aware. I remember a funny story, actually. I went to Romania once, and I was quite young, and we went to a small village in Romania, and it's quite near Transylvania, and they do say anyone with ginger hair they're very suspect of, because they think they have some vampiric blood. But they didn't stake me in the heart, so I'm here to live the story. Okay, anyway, back to the position. These two pawns are very useful for this opening, and I don't really want to exchange queens because I feel like my queen is a key attacker. And it's, again, if you see me play the Dutch opening, you can surely see a lot of similarities with this and the Dutch. Let's just place this one on a useful square, pinning the knight. And now we've got to work out how to continue. This h6 doesn't look right. He's managed to get a little bit of play against this pawn, which was a good plan. I shouldn't have allowed. So I'm going to have to defend this pawn rather annoyingly. But have I messed this up? Or can I play something more aggressive? Can we just get on with it? Like here, takes, then play in. Okay, patience might be right. Maybe we'll have a look at these games afterwards, because like anything, you know, it's even when you've learned an opening, you've got to... I knew I had an opening out the advantage, but maybe I've let it slip somewhere. I want to have a look, and this is a way that I recommend you learn. I recommend you learn by, you know, learning an opening, however you do that, whoever's opening it is, and then looking at the games you play in that, whether it's blitz games, longer games, and trying to really work out where you can improve. And I'm going to do that with the GChess resource later on. Okay, but for the time being, what's happening in this very complex situation. Now I'd love to get this bishop here. If I go here, he's going to come on with the check. Now I feel like a knight move must be the correct way to play here. I'm really also not happy the way I've done this. I'm going to be interested to see what improvements I could have made. I'm trying to get control of this square and combine it with some idea of the knight coming to g5. But my opponent has played well. This was a nice rerouting, and maybe I shouldn't have quite done this the way I did. Now this move, threatening checkmate, was one of the tactical resources I was relying on here. And actually, I'm not sure what my opponent's going to do here, because I guess he takes on d3. That's his idea. That's a little bit disappointing. If he didn't have this move, he'd be in a world of pain. And if I take here, he's going to take my knight. I need that light square bishop. Now what about this check? My pieces are very active, but he's got rook f6, which is, and he's finding all the moves, which is really annoying. It's annoying when they find good moves. Okay, but I think time is now becoming, I was going to swear there, and I feel like swearing the way I've played this, because I've thrown away a very promising position here, which is never nice to do. And this is the first loss I've had today. I'm going to try and hustle, of course, because the clock situation is low, but the chances of me winning on time is probably the chances of me meeting Elvis. And what am I even doing here I'm gonna have to play some bullshit that's not working, and he's playing this very well. Bastard. Okay, well played there. That's going to be one to look at later. Annoying. Actually, let's play someone else. Okay, let's play someone else, because I want to try to get more of this opening in. So I've got a very nice position, just those tactics seem to not quite go my way. Bit of miscalculation there. Maybe my idea was good, but at the end of, we'll play a couple more games. Yeah, I'll play half an hour of Blitz. At the end of the half an hour, I'm going to analyze my games and show you how, if you're serious about chess and you're watching this, I'm going to show you what I feel, and I honestly feel this is a great resource to improve. And yes, I do have some stake in it. It is GChess, but again, it was created to help people get better at chess. That's what my aim is and what I dedicate my life to. And I'm going to show you how I use it, and we'll use it to get better. But first of all, what is happening here? We've got another Dutch, and you can see the similarity between this and the Sicilian kind of lines, except you're a couple of tempo down. Now, my opponent seems to be one of those quick players who, no offense to him, but might not be playing the best moves, but is playing tricky moves quickly. And he does actually have a fair deal of compensation against this pawn, so I shouldn't dismiss this. Actually, he probably has very decent compensation here. I need to get a move in to throw that knight away somewhere. Can I now play it? I thought he should have gone knight into e5 last move. That was the move I was more concerned about. But this is probably also keeping the pressure on my position here because of this square. Yeah, he certainly is keeping the pressure on my position. So I'm going to go here, try to gain a bit of tempo, but I don't like this pressure my opponent has, and I've just blundered there. The reason I blundered is, of course, we want to get to the e4 section, and we just want, the games are black, we're just trying to lose quickly. We're not interested with the black games. But nicely played, actually nicely played for my opponent. I was a little bit dismissive of his plans, and for the sake of this video and for my sanity, there's no point playing that on. Let's try to get more of the British Grand Prix in. We got black again. Give me, okay, not third in a row. So when I'm playing the Dutch now, well, just to compare this to the British Grand Prix, the reason I like it, I'm playing the same setup, pieces reversed. So if you like the Dutch, you can see how the British Grand Prix will play into that. And I'm playing stage 1 of that setup we see before. My opponent's trying to cause some aggro in the centre, and I don't think we need to worry about this. I've had this kind of idea multiple times before. Now he wants to play knight h4, but I'm wondering out here takes probably helps him. So why don't I move the bishop back here and maybe try and use that placement of his knight. So castling knight g4 ideas. And now that he's played this move, maybe I can come back because he's created some holes on his light squares, which he didn't have before. Now I'm not particularly worried about this at the moment, I think, but we want to keep the tempo going. So let's bring this guy out. And if he does win that pawn, I should gain pretty good compensation, especially with a little move like knight b4 gaining time. So I'm going to flick the knight to this square. I'm castled, he's not castled. It's only one pawn. I'm fully developed. His bishop is not developed, so this must be full compensation for me here. But I've got to play actively, because if he gets time to start kicking me away, then my position is not as promising. So queen e4 he probably wants to play. So he's attacking my knight here. And if I take, he takes my knight. Something like bishop f3, some compensation. But I feel we should strive to open up the position as much as possible. A multi-purpose move. Defending the knight, yet pressurizing the center. We want to get rid of his bishop on this nice square. So I can consider this move, but taking the knight is another option. I might even be able to bring my queen over here, threatening the rather peculiar knight c2 checkmate because of the pin on my opponent's queen. So this move is certainly an attempter here, but this is the simple option. How does he defend against this move? Well, here he probably has to move his rook to this square. I mean, this is simple and extremely there's a lot of tempting ideas here, though. My position is, if anything, too good. I'm going to play this because I like pretty things in life. Who the hell doesn't? And I'm going to at least get my pawn back, and I should be going a pawn up. But it allows my last piece to come over as well. Now, simply retreating looks okay, but we've got to try to play as energetically as we can. This way, his knight comes in. Let's just keep it. We don't have to do anything too crazy. We're winning a pawn, and Ari is hungry. If I can win that pawn, I've got a simple plan. And simple plan in blitz is nice. Win a pawn, queen at Ari, shake hands, and Bob is your uncle. Let's stick to the simple plans in life then, shall we? Let's push old Ari. Oh, I like the simple things in life. Now, I could have even won that pawn, but I don't think this is necessary. Now, is he going to create counterplay quick enough? Now, is my bishop getting in trouble with something like this? It feels like it shouldn't be. It feels like I don't want to obviously retreat this, and my time is ticking. So bishop, that feels like, how can he, okay, don't want to play this move. This is so passive. But time is ticking, and I don't have time to play the optimum solution. And this solution is still strong, with Ari being a pain in the bottom. Simply knight c2. It is a move he's got to consider. And now I need to get rid of the dark square bishops, which I'll do next move. And I've got Barry, Ari's very good friend. Barry the B pawn. And there we go, as smooth as Magnus Carlsen's endgame technique. We're playing this geezer again, so let's see. This would be a good one to finish the stream on. We can go full circle. We're getting the same opening on the board, and against this system I'm going to play the same setup with bishop e3 being my preferred choice. And now he's played this one, which makes a lot of sense. And the way you play against this is you try to take these squares for your knights. Now, I have to check this again later on for the right strategy to play, because all of a sudden it does seem like this move could be a nuisance to me. But I'm going to use these squares. And my opponent, obviously a very strong player, has played a very logical setup here. And again, I want to finish my games after this, because I'm still trying to improve at chess, and I want to have a look at these later on to try and work out how I could improve for the future. Okay, so this pawn is a nuisance. I'd like to play this move, but can we take that and then play that and try to play against his light squared bishop? And also, you know, maybe around this one. Now, which one do we take with? Is this risky because an exchange sack? Let's play it. And of course, he's gone straight in as expected, where he should get some compensation. But I didn't feel this was enough after rook f4, because his bishop is terrible, right? And if he could get these guys into the game, it might be okay. But I have to say, this time around, I don't think the opening was an issue for him. I think it was, you know, he didn't need to go crazy. I think the opening was, you know, if I end up winning this one, was pretty even, to be fair. Okay, so he can't develop. Do I bring the queen up and the rook across, or is there some more tactical solution? He can't move his bishop. Let's just try and get my last piece to a good square and use his back rank with the idea of landing one of these pieces here. I've got the extra exchange, so I've got more control of straight lines, if you like, and the extra rook. So I want to use those straight lines. So he's finding some rather drastic solutions here to his issue. Now, this is obviously the first move that a patzer attacker like me thinks of, but it's probably not the best move. Now, can I go here now? Knight here takes knight c2. It's kind of like, okay, but my rook can come back here. Kind of like 50-50 about this move. I'm not sure. But as long as he can't develop these pieces, I don't believe his... But now I'm going to go here. This is my idea. But he gets his bishop out now. And if I take here, he has here. So he's finding some tactics to survive here. But his king looks awfully weak to me. Why didn't I go there last move? That would have been much better, because his bishop's now heading towards this square. Now, I'd love to play rook f1, check, but then king h8 is a pain. And I've kind of allowed him to do the things I said I don't want him to do. Now, rook here, the knight comes back. I don't know. I'm starting to very much not like the way I've played this, and I'm going to now fail. Oh, that was fucking appalling, to excuse my French. Okay, well, there we go. So let's now just set up GChess, and so I'm disappointed now. Okay, but at least I can learn something. So, you know, this is what we should all do. And let me just set this up for you guys so you can see what's going on. It's great fun playing Blitz, but if you really want to improve, one of the reasons, you can do this probably on other sites, but one of the reasons created GChess is to help you improve from your Blitz games. So I'll put a link to this. It's always in the description. This is gchess.com. And if you follow it, you'll go to this page, which I believe is the strongest chess search engine out there, which combines lots of resources to help you improve. Now, the section you want is the My Games section. Follow my mouse, and I'm gonna just update my games. So you have to press My Games, refresh games, and I'm hoping this will now come in with new games that I've played. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow. Let's just put my name in again. Maybe this is what is happening. Okay, so you put your Lee Chess handle in, your chess.com handle, you update, and it should come in with your new games. So is this gonna work now? Just maybe need to refresh the page to make this happen. And here we go, the games are in. Fantastic. These are all the Blitz games that I played on the stream. So we're going to start with the first game I played, and I think it was against this guy here. So I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to analyze these 6 games, and this is what we create. We're trying to create a system where you can play Blitz and then use this and very quickly, without getting your book out, find out where you should make your improvements. Now, if it was a good game, you're not always going to find improvements. All you need to do is press the analyzing stage. At the moment, this is based on finding improvements for your opening, but in the next couple of days, it will also be finding out improvements in your middle game. Now, what makes this different to other chess sites like Lee Chess, chess.com, anywhere else, is that they just use a computer to find improvements. What we do is use many and the most powerful chess resources out there. So we've got YouTube. So for example, if there's any YouTube videos that have appeared, you can look at the YouTube videos. Let me just show that. I'll put E4 on the board, and if I press the YouTube thing, it will search any positions, intelligent search of this. And of course, as E4, I should probably play more thing. You've got a number of different YouTube videos which you can detach if you want to, move around, and this should now, as you can see, concentrate on positions where one E4 is being played. But of course, you can go much more in depth than just one move. It also uses GingerGM courses, all the GingerGM courses there. It also has our own encyclopedia, which has all the chess openings there, and you can see all of my chess openings are up there. So if we go to Bishop E2, you already have this Chessable course up there, so you can learn from this. It has offline games, you've got stats on offline games, you've got online sites, new in chess articles, which hasn't got anything covered here, but if I go back and move, it will have lots of articles on the Sicilian by grandmasters, chess publishing, incredibly powerful search thing, and they should have some stuff on Bishop E2 here. You can look at very in-depth analysis there, and Chessable short and sweets, very powerful. So let's have a look. So with this game, it found no improvements, which I find quite interesting. But if there are no improvements, you can still have a look at what the computer says. And I just want to see if I turn our friend the computer on, if I could have improved in this game. The first game I played looked like a pretty smooth game here, and my opponent did improve on this in this position with D4 here, and the computer gives D4. So in actual fact, I'm gonna just check this position. Does this not occur? This does not occur. It does occur in this. Okay, interesting. So let's have a look. And here, what is the main recommendation? Knight A3. So Knight A3 is the move I should play. And you can see, you can quickly have a look if the computer valuation has dropped. So I actually forgot my own prep. I told you my memory is crap. And Knight A3 is a much better move. And I can now read what I actually typed with Richard about this move. Let me just move it over here, and I can learn from my mistakes. So F6, and this was played by, and this was Anish Giri's recommendation, and now we play D4. So I will know in future, it did feel from that last game that bishop e3 allowed d4, and that was a very important loss of tempo. So having played knight a3, if he plays d4 now, I don't lose those important tempos. So I've already learned something there straight away. If you want to save your research, you can quickly go here, and there's a save game thing, so you can create your own folders. You can create a new folder, so this could be very interesting. So this is Beat the Sicilian, and this will save all the interesting work you want to do, and you can give it description. I can't even spell Sicilian at the moment. Beat S. Great. And the good thing about this is if you go here, you can see that it has these things saved in your folder, and you can go back to them at any point in time. But let's go back to here. Okay, so I already, that's very interesting actually. So if we go on there, now let's have a look at the next game. Now the next game I played was a different opening, and in this position a6 it doesn't like, but okay, I know this is an okay move. Bishop d3, and now I got my move order mixed up by playing b5 first. Okay, so theoretically f5 is the right move to play. I'm going to turn the computer off for now, because it kind of, I don't like relying on the computer too much, because all our different resources here are hand-picked from Grandmaster professionals, and they have explanation. For example, if I go to Chess Publishing here, and I go to this game here, we can see actually Morozevich. Remember I mentioned Morozevich. I can bring up this game here, and it's commentated by Grandmaster Neil MacDonald, and I'll flip the board because I want to see it from the black point of view, and I can now actually see that the way I should play this is with c5. Okay, so b5 must be against another system. So again, I can save this. It's just finding improvements, and I can learn as I'm doing it. And also, if you want to, if you're a blitz addict like me, you can just have a quick glance, go and play another game of blitz, have a quick glance, or you can leave this open where you're playing blitz and have a look later on. So I'm actually quite impressed how much I'm picking up here. Now the next game I played was this one, and okay, f4 is fine, of course, and now we go to this position where I played knight a3. And actual fact, and this is very interesting, that knight a3, there are other options, but I know knight a3 is in my course, so we'll have to get this linked in. This game seemed to be pretty smooth. Okay, I'll have a quick look at the other games now. Let's see if there's any. This one is black. Okay, this is all theory. And here, this is in my Chessable course. This is great. And instead of playing knight c6, which I played in my Chessable course, let's see what I say there. And of course, I can't remember everything I've written. I can bring up my Chessable course. I can get a little bit of a, thing about it, but I want to remind myself of what I played. And my Chessable course here is with knight c3 as an option, but actually the main move just seems to be bishop f6, and that seems like a much more logical option. And I've got to think why these recommendations. Normally there's verbal explanation, but that might not always be the case as here. But this move seems to be avoiding d5s. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, and my last two games, there was no improvements because they were quite weird openings, and we are working on finding improvements, everything. But I think I learned some very useful things there. We're trying to make GChess a success. This is another thing you can support that I'm creating. We've put a lot of resources into it, but it's improving all the time. It might not be 100% perfect yet, but we are very open to your improvements. And one thing I'd love you to do, if you are using GChess, you see this orange thing here, just if you think of any improvements or anything that's wrong, please press that and just put your improvements into this this part here, because if you've got a good idea, we will do it. We're very open to making things as good as we can and helping you get better at chess. So there you go. So you know, like I mentioned, follow the description for the link to this course. It's on sale at the moment, 50% off. It's a great way to support what I do. It helps me make more free YouTube videos. You know I'm selling things a little bit in this video. I've got to do that, as I hope you understand, in order to you know, make more free material, and it's a great way to support me. So if the opening picks your fancy, this opening with Bishop E2, if it's something you think you might like, then this Chessable course will tell you all about it. And as you can see, I hope from these games it certainly has some kick to it. So like and subscribe to this video. I'm going to try to keep coming out with the content when I've got time, and it's a mixture of working on stuff that, you know, brings in the income, and then creating free stuff that I like doing and that you guys can watch for free. Got to balance it all out. Cheers. Goodbye for now, and hopefully be back soon. I might even stream Title Tuesday. Who knows?